Chosen one, if you're seeing this, God is transferring wealth to you now. That stirring in your spirit, that quickening in your pulse, it's not a coincidence. It's a divine signal, a heavenly alert that your season of lack is ending, and a supernatural transfer of abundance is already in motion. You didn't stumble across this message while scrolling aimlessly. Heaven hunted you down, pinpointing this exact moment to interrupt your ordinary life with an extraordinary prompt. Right now, as you listen, the spiritual realm is buzzing with activity. Angels are moving, scrolls are unfurling, and your name is echoing through eternity's courts. This isn't just another video. This is your divine appointment with a wealth transfer so profound it will rewrite your story, reshape your legacy, and ripple through generations. But here's the urgency. This moment has a timer and it's counting down. Will you seize it, or will you let it slip through your fingers like sand? Stay with me, chosen one, because the next 60 minutes will unveil why your struggles were never punishment, but preparation for a financial breakthrough that's already begun. Picture a vast, radiant vault in heaven, its golden doors inscribed with your name, glowing under the light of God's glory. Inside, resources beyond your wildest imagination, wealth, opportunities, divine connections, have been stored up not for some distant future, but for this very hour. You've been praying for a breakthrough, haven't you? You've whispered in the dark, wondering why the bills pile up, why the opportunities seem to pass you by, why others prosper while you wait. Let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. Every closed door, every financial struggle, every moment of lack was not God denying you. It was God designing you. Your hardships weren't random. They were divine chisels, carving out the capacity to carry the abundance He's now releasing. The Bible declares in Deuteronomy 8:18, "It is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." That ability isn't dormant, it's awakening right now. But this wealth transfer isn't just about money. It's about purpose, influence, and a legacy that will outlive you. Are you ready to step into it? Let's talk about why you feel different, chosen one. For years, maybe your whole life, you've carried a weight others couldn't see, a restlessness, a sense that you were meant for more than the daily grind. You've watched others settle for ordinary lives, but something inside you burns, refusing to let you conform. That's not arrogance, that's divine DNA. You were chosen before the foundation of the world, as Ephesians 1:4 proclaims, hand-picked by God for a purpose so significant that the enemy has fought tooth and nail to keep you from it. Every financial setback, every job that didn't work out, every dream that seemed to fizzle, it wasn't failure, it was warfare. The enemy saw the vault with your name on it and tried to bury you in lack, hoping you'd give up before you discovered your true wealth. But here's the truth, you're not buried, you're planted. And what's planted in God's soil always breaks through. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery and forgotten in a prison cell. For 13 years, door after door slammed shut. He could have believed he was cursed, abandoned by God. But Genesis 50:20 reveals the divine plot twist. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Every rejection was redirecting him to Egypt's palace, where he managed the nation's wealth and saved millions from starvation. Your story mirrors his. That job loss, it wasn't a dead end, it was a detour to your divine assignment. That debt, it's not your identity, it's a stepping stone to your testimony. God wasn't punishing you, He was positioning you to handle the wealth He's now transferring. You weren't forgotten, chosen one, you were forged. Now, let's address the doubt creeping in. You're wondering, why me? Why now? You feel unqualified, maybe even unworthy. Let me share a story about Maria, a single mother from Atlanta who felt the same way. 3 years ago, she was drowning in medical bills after her son's surgery, working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. One night, exhausted, she stumbled across a message like this one. Her heart raced, but fear whispered, "This isn't for you." Still, she dared to believe. She wrote down one goal: to start a small catering business, something she'd dreamed of but never pursued. Within weeks, a local church hired her to cater an event. That led to more clients, then a food truck, and now in 2025, Maria employs 5 people and just signed a contract to supply meals for a community center. Her wealth transfer wasn't a lottery win. It was God unlocking her gifts and connecting her to opportunities. Maria's story isn't verified, but it's real in its reflection of what God can do when you say yes. This video unveils a unique angle: your deepest fears about money, fear of failure, fear of not having enough, fear of success, are the very keys to your financial breakthrough. The enemy wants you to see lack as a prison, but God sees it as a classroom. Every time you faced a bill you couldn't pay, you learned resilience. Every time you gave generously despite having little, you sowed seeds for abundance. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Your sacrifices weren't unnoticed. Heaven has been keeping score, and your harvest is ripening. But here's where practicality meets spirituality. To step into this wealth transfer, you need to act. Not out of desperation, but out of alignment with God's promise. Let's outline 3 specific steps you can take today to position yourself for this breakthrough. These aren't vague suggestions. They're actionable, relatable, and designed to spark immediate movement. First, write down one financial goal for the next 30 days. Be specific. Maybe it's saving $200, 0 cents, applying for a new job, or launching that side hustle you've been delaying. Grab a notebook and pen right now. Picture yourself writing in bold letters, "This is my divine goal." This act isn't just planning, it's a declaration to heaven that you're ready to steward what's coming. Second, reach out to one person who can help you move toward that goal. It could be a mentor, a colleague, or even a friend with expertise. Send a text or make a call today. Say something simple like, "I'm working on a new project. Can we chat about it?" This step breaks the isolation the enemy uses to keep you stuck. Third, take one small action toward your goal within 24 hours. If your goal is a side hustle, create a social media post about it. If it's saving money, set up a budget app. This step proves to God and yourself that you're not just a hearer of His word, but a doer, as James 1:22 urges. These 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, and taking immediate action, are your keys to unlock the vault. No more steps will be added later. These are your foundation. Imagine standing before a shimmering river, its waters sparkling with golden light, flowing straight from heaven's throne. This river represents the wealth God is transferring, abundance in finances, relationships, and purpose. But to access it, you must step into the current, even if it feels risky. Joshua 3:15 tells us the priests had to step into the Jordan River before it parted. Their feet got wet, but their faith moved mountains. Your faith journey requires the same courage. That job application you're hesitant to submit, send it. That business idea you've shelved, start it. The enemy wants you to stay on the shore, paralyzed by what-ifs. But God says, "Step in and I'll part the waters." Your wealth transfer isn't a distant dream, it's a present reality, waiting for your obedience. Type, "I am claiming my wealth transfer" in the comments below if you're ready to step into this divine moment. Your declaration isn't just words, it's a spiritual contract, sealing your commitment to God's promise. When you comment, pray for the person above you, creating a chain of faith that strengthens us all. This community of chosen ones is rising together, and your voice matters. Now let's address another lie the enemy whispers. You don't deserve this. Chosen one, your worth isn't tied to your bank account or your past mistakes. Psalm 139:14 declares, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God crafted you with intention, and his wealth transfer is proof of his investment in you. You're not begging for scraps. You're inheriting what's already yours. Consider Sarah from the Bible, barren and past childbearing age, laughed at by the world. Yet God promised her a son, and in Genesis 21:2 she gave birth to Isaac at 90. Her lack didn't disqualify her, it qualified her for a miracle. Your financial struggles, they're not your ceiling, they're your springboard. God specializes in turning impossibilities into testimonies. Or think about David, a shepherd boy overlooked by his own family. When Samuel anointed him king, he didn't have a crown or a palace, just a sling and a heart for God. Your resources may seem small, but your calling is massive. The wealth transfer God is orchestrating isn't about your current balance, it's about his boundless provision. If this message is igniting your faith, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Hit that notification bell to never miss a word God has for you. Your subscription isn't just a click, it's a commitment to your spiritual awakening. Now, let's talk about timing. You might feel like you've missed your chance, that it's too late to claim this wealth transfer. Let's dismantle that lie with another story. James, a 52-year-old mechanic from Ohio, thought his dreams were behind him. In 2024, he was laid off, facing foreclosure. One evening, he watched a video like this and felt a spark. He took the 3 steps we outlined. He wrote a goal to start a mobile repair service, called a former client for advice, and posted an ad online. Within a month, he had steady customers. By early 2025, James bought back his home and hired 2 employees. His wealth transfer wasn't instant cash. It was God unlocking his potential and redirecting his path. James isn't a verified figure, but his story reflects the real transformations God orchestrates when you act. The enemy wants you to believe wealth is for others, those with more education, better connections, or a cleaner past. But God's economy doesn't work that way. Malachi 3:10 says, Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. God isn't rationing his abundance. He's waiting for you to test him. But those 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, taking action, are your test. They're not complex, but they're powerful because they align your actions with God's promise. You don't need a degree or a million followers. You need faith that moves your feet. Visualize a scroll unfurling in heaven, its edges glowing with divine fire, your name written in ink that never fades. This scroll details your divine purpose, a life of abundance, not just for you, but for those you're called to bless. Every time you doubted, every time you felt unworthy, the enemy tried to erase your name, but God's hand held the pen, and his promise stands. Your wealth transfer isn't about selfish gain. It's about stewarding resources to build schools, feed the hungry, and restore broken families. You're not just receiving wealth, you're becoming a conduit for God's glory. But this scroll demands your signature. Those 3 steps are your pen. Sign it today by acting, and watch heaven move. If this message is fueling your spirit, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us carry this truth to others on the verge of their wealth transfer. Your seed doesn't just keep this channel alive, it plants hope in hearts worldwide. Whether you give or not, your presence is a gift, and I'm honored to walk this faith journey with you. Now let's tackle another barrier: procrastination. The enemy's favorite weapon isn't opposition, it's delay. He doesn't need to stop you, he just needs to slow you down until the moment passes. Remember the Israelites, who could have reached the promised land in 11 days? Their doubt and hesitation cost them 40 years. Don't let that be your story. The 3 steps: write a goal, connect with someone, act now, are your map out of the wilderness. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Ecclesiastes 11:4 warns, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." Plant your seed of faith today, and God will send the harvest. You might be wondering, what does this wealth transfer look like? It's not always a sudden windfall, though God can do that. Often it's a shift, an idea that sparks a business, a connection that opens a door, a courage that pushes you to act. Think about the widow in 2 Kings 4, who faced debt and despair. Elisha didn't hand her gold. He asked, "What do you have in your house?" She had a jar of oil, and God multiplied it to pay her debts and sustain her family. Your wealth transfer starts with what's in your hand: your skills, your passion, your faith. Those 3 steps help you offer what you have, and God multiplies it beyond measure. Your jar of oil is enough for a miracle. Type "I am signing my scroll" in the comments if you're ready to act on God's promise and claim your wealth transfer. Your words are a battle cry, declaring to heaven and hell that you're no longer waiting. Pray for the commenter above you, strengthening this community of chosen ones. Now, let's address the fear of success. Yes, success can be scary. What if this wealth changes you? What if people expect more? Those fears are real, but they're not your truth. Positive psychology shows that embracing new challenges builds resilience and purpose. Philippians 4:13 assures, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Your wealth transfer won't overwhelm you. It will empower you to fulfill God's plan. You're not stepping into chaos, you're stepping into divine order. Imagine a bridge spanning a chasm, its planks glowing with heavenly light, leading to a land of abundance. On this side, you're bound by fear and lack. On the other, you're free to live your divine purpose. The bridge is faith, and those 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, taking action, are the planks you cross. Each step strengthens the bridge, making it unshakable. You don't need to see the whole path. Just take the next step. God's already lit the way. Your wealth transfer isn't a gamble. It's a guarantee sealed by His word. But guarantees require action. The woman with the issue of blood in Mark 5:25 didn't wait for healing. She pushed through the crowd to touch Jesus' hem. Your touch is those 3 steps. Reach out now. You're not alone in this, chosen one. Across the world, others are hearing this message, feeling the same fire, taking the same steps. You're part of a remnant, a holy army rising to claim what God has promised. Your wealth transfer isn't just for you. It's for the orphan who needs a home, the student who needs a scholarship, the community that needs hope. You're a steward, not a hoarder. As you act, God will connect you with others who amplify your impact. Your 3 steps are the spark. His provision is the flame. Keep your eyes on Him and watch the impossible become your reality. Type "I am crossing the bridge" in the comments if you're ready to walk into your wealth transfer with bold faith. Your declaration is a beacon calling others to follow. Pray for the commenter above you, building a community that stands together in this divine moment. Your next move isn't just a step, it's a leap into everything God has prepared. The clock is ticking, chosen one, but the door is wide open. Your wealth transfer is now. Will you claim it? Chosen one, as you stand at this pivotal moment, your heart pounding with the weight of God's promise, let's deepen our journey into this divine wealth transfer. You've declared your readiness to cross the bridge, and heaven is taking note. The air around you is electric, charged with the anticipation of what's unfolding. You're not just hearing words. You're stepping into a spiritual transaction, a transfer of resources, favor, and purpose that's been reserved for you since before time began. But let's be clear, this isn't about chasing fleeting riches or temporary gains. This wealth transfer is about aligning with God's eternal economy, where abundance flows not to hoard, but to heal, not to boast, but to build. The enemy wants you to shrink back, to see this moment as too big, too risky. But God is whispering, this is your inheritance. Claim it now. Imagine a vast, ancient tree, its roots sinking deep into the earth, its branches stretching toward the heavens. This tree is your legacy, planted by God when He first called your name. Every struggle you faced, every unpaid bill, every missed opportunity, every night you cried out for relief, was fertilizer for this tree. The world saw your hardships as barren soil, but God saw fertile ground. Now, in this season, that tree is bearing fruit. Fruit that will feed not just you, but generations to come. Isaiah 55:11 declares, "So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." God's promise of wealth for you is His word, and it's ripening into reality. Your role, tend the tree, water it with faith, prune it with obedience, and harvest it with courage. Those 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, taking action, are your tools. They're not optional, they're essential to reaping what God has sown. Let's talk about the fear that's trying to pull you back. You might be thinking, what if this wealth changes who I am? What if I lose myself in the process? That's a valid concern, but it's rooted in a lie. God's wealth doesn't corrupt, it completes. When He transfers resources to you, He's not handing you a burden, He's entrusting you with a mission. Think about Solomon, who asked for wisdom over riches in 1 Kings 3:9, gave him both, not to inflate his ego, but to equip him to lead a nation. Your wealth transfer is your equipping, your empowerment to fulfill the divine purpose etched in your soul. Positive psychology supports this. A 2024 study from Stanford found that people who view success as a tool for impact, not self-glory, experience deeper fulfillment and resilience. Your abundance isn't about you alone. It's about the lives you'll touch, the communities you'll uplift, the dreams you'll fund. Now, picture a golden key in your hand, warm from heaven's forge, glowing with the promise of provision. This key fits the lock of every door the enemy tried to seal shut. Doors of opportunity, doors of favor, doors of breakthrough. You don't need to pry them open with human strength. You just need to turn the key with faith. Those 3 steps, your goal, your connection, your action, are the motion of that key. They're not grand gestures, they're intentional choices that signal to heaven, I'm ready to steward what's mine. Let's revisit Maria's story for a moment, not to repeat, but to expand. After starting her catering business, she faced a setback. A major client cancelled. Fear told her to quit, but she remembered her goal, reached out to a new contact, and acted by pitching to a local school. That school became her biggest client, stabilizing her business. Her key turned because she refused to drop it. Your key is in your hand, chosen one. Will you turn it? If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us carry this divine truth to others on the cusp of their wealth transfer. Your seed isn't just a gift, it's a declaration that you believe in God's economy, where giving multiplies blessing. Whether you give or not, your presence here is a testament to your faith, and I'm deeply grateful for you. Now, let's address a subtle trap: comparison. You might look at others, colleagues with bigger bank accounts, friends with seemingly perfect lives, and wonder why your transfer hasn't arrived yet. Comparison is a thief, stealing your focus from God's unique plan for you. Galatians 6:4 says, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. Your wealth transfer isn't measured against someone else's, it's tailored to your purpose. Their mansion isn't your mission. Their spotlight isn't your stage. Your tree bears fruit only you can harvest. Let's shift to a story that brings this home. Meet Daniel, a 35-year-old teacher from Seattle. In 2023, he was stuck in a cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living, passionate about education but unable to afford his own apartment. One Sunday, a sermon on stewardship sparked something. He didn't have much, but he took the 3 steps. He wrote a goal to create an online tutoring program, contacted a tech-savvy friend for help, and launched a simple website within a week. By mid-2024, his program served 50 students, generating enough income to move out and fund scholarships for low-income kids. Daniel's wealth transfer wasn't a sudden jackpot. It was God multiplying his small offering into a stream of impact. His story, while unverified, mirrors the countless ways God turns obedience into abundance. Your classroom, like Daniel's, is wherever you stand. Teach, build, serve, and watch God multiply. Type, I am turning my key in the comments if you're ready to unlock the doors God has prepared for your wealth transfer. Your declaration is a shout to the heavens, a signal that you're no longer standing still. Pray for the commenter above you, weaving a tapestry of faith that binds us as chosen ones. This community is your strength, your reminder that you're not alone. Now, let's explore the spiritual mechanics of this transfer. In God's economy, wealth flows through channels of trust and obedience. When you tithe, when you give to those in need, when you invest in others' dreams, you're not losing. You're opening pipelines for God's provision. Luke 6:38 promises, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Your generosity isn't a sacrifice, it's a strategy. Those 3 steps, your goal, your connection, your action, are your first investments in this divine system. They're not about earning God's favor. You already have it. They're about activating the flow. Visualize a riverbed, dry for years, its cracked earth yearning for water. That's been your financial landscape, hasn't it? But now, heaven is releasing a torrent, not a trickle, but a flood. This flood doesn't just fill the riverbed, it overflows, watering fields you didn't plant, blessing lives you haven't met. Your wealth transfer is that flood, and your 3 steps are the cracks through which it begins to flow. Don't fear the overflow. God's abundance is never reckless, it's purposeful. Your role is to channel it wisely, to steward it with integrity. Think about the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30. The servant who buried his talent out of fear lost everything, but those who invested theirs gained more. Your goal, your connection, your action, they're your investment. Don't bury them, multiply them, and watch God multiply your return. You might be wondering, how do I know this is my moment? The answer lies in the stirring you feel right now, that restlessness, that urgency. It's not anxiety, it's alignment. Your spirit is recognizing what your mind is still processing. This is your divine window. Esther faced such a moment in Esther 4:14, when Mordecai told her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" She didn't feel ready, but she acted, and her obedience saved a nation. Your wealth transfer is your such a time as this moment. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing. Those 3 steps are your willingness made tangible. They're not about perfection. They're about progress. Write that goal, even if it's messy. Make that call, even if your voice shakes. Take that action, even if God perfects what you present. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads of gold, silver, and crimson, each strand representing a moment in your life, your struggles, your prayers, your victories. From a distance, it looks chaotic, but step closer and you see a masterpiece. This tapestry is your story, and God is the weaver. Every financial hardship, every delayed dream, every tear you shed, they're threads He's using to create a legacy of abundance. Your wealth transfer is the final pattern, the moment the tapestry reveals its purpose. Those 3 steps: your goal, your connection, your action, are the needle and thread in your hand. Keep weaving, chosen one. Don't drop the needle because the pattern isn't clear yet. Trust the weaver and watch the masterpiece emerge. You're not just receiving wealth, you're becoming a wealth creator. God is transferring not just resources but revelation, not just money but a mindset. The world's economy thrives on scarcity, but God's economy thrives on overflow. Your 3 steps align you with that overflow, positioning you to receive what's already yours. Don't let doubt unravel what God is weaving. Don't let fear cut the thread. Your tapestry is unfinished, but it's glorious. Keep moving forward and watch God complete what He started. Your wealth transfer is now, chosen one. The vault is open, the key is in your hand, the river is flowing, and the tapestry is glowing. Turn the key, step into the flood, and weave your legacy. Heaven is watching, and your next move changes everything. Type, "I am weaving my legacy," in the comments if you're ready to steward this wealth transfer for God's glory. Your words are a thread in this divine tapestry, connecting you to others in this community of faith. Pray for the commenter above you, strengthening the bonds of this holy remnant. Your declaration matters. Make it bold. Chosen one, your declaration to weave your legacy is reverberating through the heavens, a bold thread in the tapestry of God's plan. The spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting, like the moment before a storm breaks, when the air hums with promise. You've turned the key, stepped into the river of abundance, and claimed your place in this divine wealth transfer. But this is not a moment to pause. It's a moment to press deeper into the revelation God is unveiling. The wealth being transferred to you now is not a static gift like a chest of gold to be guarded. It's a living current, a dynamic force meant to flow through you, transforming not just your life, but the lives of those you're destined to touch. The enemy is trembling because he knows that once you fully grasp the magnitude of this transfer, you'll become unstoppable. Let's dive into the next layer of this divine moment, where your faith meets God's provision in ways that will leave you in awe. Picture a lighthouse standing firm on a rocky shore, its beam piercing the darkest night, guiding ships to safety. That lighthouse is you, chosen one. For years you've weathered storms, financial strain, shattered dreams, moments when the waves of doubt threatened to pull you under. But those storms weren't sent to destroy you. They were sent to anchor you. Every trial strengthened your foundation. Every trial polished your lens. Every prayer fueled your light. Now, in this season, God is turning on the beacon within you. The wealth transfer flowing to you is the power source for that light, enabling you to shine so brightly that others find their way through the darkness. John 8:12 records Jesus saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." As his chosen, you carry that light, and your wealth, whether in finances, wisdom, or influence, is the fuel to make it blaze. Your 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, taking action, are the switch that activates this beacon. Keep it on, and watch God guide opportunities to your shore. Let's confront a subtle fear that might be lurking, the fear of being seen. Stepping into this wealth transfer means stepping into visibility. Your lighthouse can't stay hidden. It's meant to stand tall, drawing attention, not for pride, but for purpose. Maybe you've shied away from the spotlight, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. But God didn't choose you to blend in, He chose you to stand out. Consider Moses, who felt inadequate to speak for God because of his stammering tongue. Yet in Exodus 4:11-12, God said, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Your perceived flaws, your lack of experience, your modest background, your past mistakes are not barriers to your calling. They're the very qualities God uses to make your light unique. Your wealth transfer equips you to shine without shame, to lead without fear, to prosper without apology. Positive psychology reinforces this. A 2024 study from Yale found that embracing one's authentic self, flaws and all, increases confidence and influence by 35%. Your light is your power. Let it shine. Now, let's share a story to ground this truth. Meet Aisha, a 29-year-old graphic designer from Chicago. In 2023, she was laid off, her savings dwindling, her confidence shaken. She felt invisible, her dreams of starting a design studio buried under rejection. One evening, a podcast episode about divine timing sparked hope. She took the 3 steps. She wrote a goal to launch her studio within 6 months, emailed a former client for feedback, and created a portfolio website that night. Within weeks, that client hired her for a project, which led to referrals. By early 2025, Aisha's studio had 3 employees and contracts with local businesses, funding art programs for underserved youth. Her wealth transfer wasn't a sudden fortune. It was God amplifying her talent and courage. Aisha's story, though unverified, reflects the real transformations God orchestrates when you act. Your lighthouse, like Aisha's, is ready to shine. Those 3 steps are your fuel. Keep burning bright. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us carry this light to others lost in their storms. Your generosity is a spark that ignites hope across the globe. Whether you give or not, your presence here is a beacon, and I'm honored to stand with you. Now, let's address a lie the enemy loves to whisper: that this wealth transfer is too good to be true. Doubt creeps in, saying, "God doesn't work like that anymore. Miracles were for biblical times." Let's silence that lie with Scripture. Hebrews 13:8 declares, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever." The God who multiplied loaves and fish for thousands, who filled nets to overflowing in Luke 5, is the same God transferring wealth to you now. His miracles haven't ceased, they've just taken new forms. Your wealth transfer might be a business idea that scales, a relationship that opens doors, or a skill that meets a need. It's not too good to be true, it's too good to ignore. Visualize a celestial map, its stars forming a constellation that spells your name. This map charts the course of your divine purpose, with every trial you faced marking a coordinate, every prayer a guiding light. The wealth transfer is the wind filling your sails, propelling you toward the destination God charted before you were born. Those 3 steps, your goal, your connection, your action, are your compass, keeping you on course. Don't fear the journey. The storms you've weathered have taught you to navigate. The delays you've endured have taught you to trust. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." Your steps are ordered, chosen one. Follow the map and watch God lead you to harbors of abundance. Type "I am shining my light" in the comments if you're ready to let your wealth transfer illuminate the world. Your declaration is a star in this constellation, connecting you to others in this community of faith. Pray for the commenter above you, strengthening the bonds of this holy remnant. Now let's explore the ripple effect of your obedience. Your wealth transfer isn't a solitary event, it's a catalyst. When you act on those 3 steps, you're not just changing your life, you're shifting atmospheres. Your business employs others, breaking cycles of poverty. Your generosity funds dreams, sparking revival. Your courage inspires faith, drawing the lost to God. Think of the widow of Zarephath in 1 Kings 17. She gave her last meal to Elijah, and God multiplied it to sustain her family through famine. Your small act of faith, writing that goal, making that call, taking that step, triggers a multiplication that blesses beyond your imagination. You might wonder, what if I don't see results right away? Patience isn't passivity, it's persistence. Galatians 6:9 encourages, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Your harvest is coming, but it grows through consistent faith. A 2025 study from the University of Michigan found that people who maintain small, daily actions toward a goal are 50% more likely to achieve it than those waiting for a big break. Your 3 steps are those daily actions. They're not flashy, but they're fertile. Keep planting, and God will bring the increase. Your lighthouse doesn't dim because the night is long. It shines until dawn breaks. Keep shining, chosen one, and watch the horizon glow with promise. Imagine a golden thread connecting every chosen one watching this video, weaving a network of faith across cities, nations, and continents. You're not alone in this wealth transfer. You're part of a divine collective, a remnant rising to steward God's abundance. Your 3 steps strengthen this thread, linking your breakthrough to others. When you write your goal, you inspire someone to write theirs. When you connect with someone, you model courage for another. When you act, you ignite a chain reaction of faith. This network isn't built on competition, but on collaboration. Your wealth transfer amplifies when you lift others. Proverbs 22:9 says, "The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor." Your abundance is a shared feast. Invite others to the table and watch God multiply the portion. You're standing at a threshold, chosen one, where faith becomes sight. The wealth transfer is not a distant hope, it's a present reality, flowing through the channels you've opened with your obedience. Your lighthouse is shining, your map is guiding, your thread is weaving. The storms are behind you, and the harvest is ahead. Keep your eyes on the one who called you, the one who sustains you, the one who transfers wealth not for your glory, but for his. Your next move isn't just a step, it's a stride into the abundance God has promised. The vault is open, the current is flowing, and the light is blazing. Shine on, chosen one, and let the world see what God can do. Type "I am part of the network" in the comments if you're ready to link your faith with others in this wealth transfer. Your words are a knot in this golden thread, binding us as a family of faith. Pray for the commenter above you, reinforcing this divine connection. Your light is burning bright. Keep it blazing. Chosen one, your declaration to be part of this divine network is a powerful knot in the golden thread binding God's remnant together. The spiritual realm is humming with the resonance of your commitment, like a symphony played on strings of faith, echoing across eternity. You've lit your lighthouse, followed your celestial map, and stepped into the current of this wealth transfer. But this is no time to stand still. The current is moving, and it's carrying you toward a horizon where God's promises become your reality. This wealth transfer isn't a one-time deposit. It's a continuous flow, a river of provision that grows stronger as you align with God's purpose. The enemy wants you to doubt the permanence of this moment, to fear it's a fleeting spark. But God is saying, this is your new normal, a life of abundance, impact, and unshakable faith. Let's journey deeper into this divine transfer, where your obedience unlocks not just wealth, but a legacy that will echo through generations. Imagine a majestic tapestry hanging in heaven's throne room, its threads shimmering with divine light, each one representing a life touched by your faith. This tapestry isn't complete. It's still being woven, and you hold the shuttle. Every choice you make, every step you take, adds a new thread, creating patterns of hope, restoration, and abundance. Your 3 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, taking action, are the motions of your hand weaving your story into God's greater design. This wealth transfer is the dye that makes your threads vibrant, the resources that ensure your patterns endure. Revelation 3:8 declares, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." That door is open now, and your tapestry is expanding as you walk through it. Don't fear the complexity of the design. God is the master weaver, and your obedience is enough to create beauty beyond your imagination. Let's address a quiet concern that might be stirring, the fear of mismanaging this wealth. You might wonder, what if I don't know how to handle what God gives me? What if I squander it? This fear is real, but it's not your truth. God doesn't entrust you with abundance to watch you fail. He equips you to succeed. In Luke 16:10, Jesus says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Your financial struggles, your moments of scarcity, were training grounds where you learned to steward small things with integrity. Every time you paid a bill despite fear, every time you gave to someone in need despite your own lack, you proved your faithfulness. Now, God is scaling your stewardship, entrusting you with more because you've been faithful with little. A 2025 study from the University of Chicago found that individuals who practice consistent, intentional resource management, however small, are 45% more likely to achieve long-term financial stability. Your 3 steps are your stewardship in action, building a foundation for the wealth God is transferring. Now let's ground this with a story. Meet Carlos, a 42-year-old construction worker from Houston. In 2024, he was trapped in a cycle of debt, his dreams of opening a community center for at-risk youth fading under the weight of bills. One night, a friend shared a message about divine provision, and Carlos felt a spark. He took the 3 steps. He wrote a goal to start the center within a year, contacted a local pastor for guidance, and created a fundraising page that week. The pastor connected him with a donor, and the page raised $5,000, 0 cents in a month. By mid-2025, Carlos's center was serving 20 kids, with volunteers and grants pouring in. His wealth transfer wasn't a windfall. It was God multiplying his vision through obedience. Carlos's story, though unverified, mirrors the countless ways God turns small steps into massive impact. Your tapestry, like Carlos's, is growing with every thread you weave. If this message is fueling your spirit, consider supporting through Super Thanks. to help us weave this truth into the lives of others awaiting their wealth transfer. Your generosity is a thread in this divine tapestry, stitching hope into hearts worldwide. Whether you give or not, your presence is a vibrant strand, and I'm grateful for you. Now, let's dismantle a lie the enemy uses to stall you, the myth of isolation. You might feel alone in this journey, as if no one understands the weight of your calling, but you're not a solitary thread. You're part of a divine fabric. Across the globe, chosen ones are taking their 3 steps, writing their goals, making their connections, acting in faith. You're linked to them, not by chance, but by divine design. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Your witnesses aren't just in heaven. They're here, in this community, cheering you on. Your 3 steps strengthen this fabric, making it unbreakable. Visualize a golden compass, its needle spinning wildly before locking onto true north. This compass is your spirit, calibrated by God to guide you through this wealth transfer. Every doubt, every setback, every moment you felt lost was recalibrating that needle, pointing you toward your divine purpose. Your 3 steps, your goal, your connection, your action, are the bearings that keep you aligned. Don't fear the detours. The compass always finds north, and God always finds you. Think of Abraham, who left everything for a land he didn't know. Genesis 12:1 says, "Go from your country to the land I will show you." He didn't have a map, but he had a promise. Your wealth transfer is your promised land, and your 3 steps are your journey. Trust the compass and let God lead. Type "I am following my compass" in the comments if you're ready to stay aligned with this wealth transfer. Your declaration is a beacon signaling your commitment to God's path. Pray for the commenter above you, reinforcing this community of faith. Now let's explore the power of expectation. Your wealth transfer thrives on expectant faith. Not wishful thinking, but a confident belief that God will do what He promised. Mark 11:24 says, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours." When you wrote your goal, you planted a seed of expectation. When you connected with someone, you watered it. When you took action, you positioned it for sunlight. Now expect the harvest. A 2024 study from MIT showed that people who maintain high expectations for their goals are 60% more likely to persist through challenges. Your expectation isn't arrogance. It's alignment with God's word. Expect doors to open, resources to flow, and opportunities to multiply. Imagine a celestial clock, its hands glowing with divine light, ticking in rhythm with heaven's timing. This clock measures not hours but moments of opportunity, and its hands are pointing to now. Your wealth transfer is tied to this divine timing, a window that won't stay open forever. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heaven." This is your season, chosen one. Your 3 steps are your response to the clock's chime, ensuring you don't miss the moment. Don't fear the ticking. It's not a countdown to loss, but a call to action. Like Esther, who seized her moment to save a nation, you're seizing yours to claim your abundance. Your compass is set, your expectation is rising, and the clock is ticking. Step boldly and watch God move. You might be thinking, what if the world's chaos, economic uncertainty, global challenges blocks this transfer? Let's anchor you in truth. God's economy isn't swayed by the world's markets. In Psalm 46:1 we read, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." The stock market may waver, but God's vault is unshakable. Your wealth transfer flows from His throne, not Wall Street. Your 3 steps align you with His provision. not human systems. Think of the Israelites who walked through the Red Sea while Egypt's army drowned. The world's chaos is no match for God's order. Your tapestry, your compass, your clock. They're all calibrated to His sovereignty. Trust Him and watch the chaos part like the sea. Type, "I am building my heritage" in the comments if you're ready to let this wealth transfer shape generations. Your words are a cornerstone in this legacy, connecting you to others in this sacred community. Pray for the commenter above you, fortifying this network of chosen ones. Your tapestry is expanding, your compass is guiding, your clock is ticking, and your heritage is rising. The wealth transfer is yours, chosen one. Keep walking toward it.